Keep getting fine. I'm getting this good fine.
Dr. Quymn is the Weradile.
So hi, welcome to Venture Bros, a Venture Brothers podcast. With me, your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Graham Pineapple Mason.
Hello.
Oh, good. You cut out from my Google chat window, so all I heard was oh,
Oh, pineapple.
Apparently you're going like Andrew Dice Clay. Oh,
I was about to say.
Hey.
the Dice Man's here for the Venture Brothers.
No.
My Andrew Dice Clay impersonation is spot on, right?
Easily the best I've heard in the last 10 minutes.
And that voice right there was Nicholas Starfruit Friedemann.
Cut me into pieces. I'm ready.
I feel like I've done both pineapple and starfruit already, but,
I don't think so. I think it's the first time hearing of it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like I've done. Nah, I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Either way, it's not like anyone's keeping track and will, send us messages. Speaking of which, we've been getting more messages from you fans out there, so please keep that up. We love hearing from you. I had a lovely chat with somebody from New York. It was fun. You can reach us on Facebook. We're at the After the Hype page. If you just send a message to us, and we will respond. I'm usually the one to respond. Nick and Graham do not spend too much time on our Facebook group. Or you can always drop us a line, athpodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you. More, any requests, any questions, anything we missed. Reach out. It's been fun. I like hearing from you. Let's get started. We are back. We had a good Christmas break. We took off, 5 weeks? Yeah, it was a while. It was really nice jumping back into it, though.
All right, before we get started, I'm going to do a quick breakdown, if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so what happens in this episode is it starts off with Rusty running through the I guess it's a jungle, and being chased by these, basically a tribe. And so, more or less, he stumbles across this woman who's a woman from his past, and then they have a flashback sequence to a swingers key party that his dad hosts. Basically, the two of them kind of hung out while this whole thing was happening. Flash forward to present day, the two of them start hitting it off. She has 2 daughters and a bodyguard. The 2 daughters are attracted to Dean. Hank really thinks that they're attractive. Dean has no interest in them whatsoever. And the bodyguard is ambiguous. I'm really not sure what her motivations are. I don't know anything about her. And basically, that's the whole episode. At the end, everything burns to the ground, and then they go their separate ways.
Today's episode is Dr. Quymn, Medicine Woman. And I think we are officially, for the next 2 weeks, in the lull of Season 3. And I'll be interested to see if you guys agree or disagree.
Oh boy,
these two are not my favorite episodes. I think they're very good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that before we had done this, if you had asked me in a vacuum, I would have been like, I love those 2 episodes. And then now watching them again, I was like, okay, they're not bad. They have some moments that I really enjoy, and those are what I remember. And then everything else is just okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the same page. We are officially in the low point of our season.
Yeah. They have some of my favorite one-liners.
Oh, there's amazing moments, which we will get to. I meant on a whole. Yeah.
Yes, but that's about it.
Yeah. So we'll start this week, and the next week tune in for the next one. What goes down must come up. But this week we are talking Dr. Quymn, Medicine Woman. This is an episode, and I haven't really looked into the book. I didn't watch it with commentary. I just kind of wanted to go about this one with my own opinions, because this one feels like one of those episodes, like when we go back to Triana's friend, I'm forgetting her name now, where there's a lot of stuff like, ooh, this could be something later, and we're going to plant a bunch of seeds, and we might do something with it, or we might not.
Yeah, I looked in the book, and it's pretty sparse. I think that, reading between the lines, they would agree with our early sentiment, which is there's a lot of stuff that they wanted to do that seemed to be cut on the cutting room floor, and that's pretty much the whole thing.
That's kind of too bad. I mean, because I don't think, like we said, I don't think the episodes are bad, especially in season 3 because it's such a strong season. So if you're looking at like bad for the season is still better than most entertainment.
For sure. And I do think that part of the problem with this season, or these 2 episodes, I would say, like in particular, the ones that we're going to do this week and next week, are they don't really tie into anything. Like, I understand that they do tie into stuff later, kind of, but they don't tie into anything, unlike some of the other episodes where it was like, if you're going really story heavy, this is going to either answer some questions or bring up some new questions. And these 2 episodes, I don't really feel like do that. So they just kind of exist on an island on their own.
Which is kind of weird because they like reference history and talk about, you know, the team ventures and all that other stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of see, and then it's just left there. No reference whatsoever before or after, other than, I mean, really, Venture Senior's death and some other stuff, but like nothing specific to these 2 episodes whatsoever.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, let's stick more to Quymn than the other one, because there's I think next week we'll get into it. I think there's more in that one than there is in this one. I think this one really, like, I'm fine with an evergreen episode. I think all seasons kind of need them. Like, if it was all story all the time, it just wouldn't feel like Venture Brothers. Like, you got to have your outliers of just crazy, zany, what the fuck was that? And I think this one does it, like, especially with the Weradile and just everything. Like, there's some really funny stuff in there. I think more so it's just that, like, we're coming off of some really, really great stuff, and it's a kind of a cold, like, splash of cold water to the face, this episode for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's like right out of the gate. Like, it starts with Rusty like running through the jungle and like, oh, this could be fun, and then it just kind of, as soon as you kind of get into what's going on, it's like, oh, maybe it won't be fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just the speed of this episode now.
Yeah, and like we have Brok and the boys training an orangutan to box, which is really funny, but they don't really do much with it. It's all just for a punchline at the end of the episode. And I felt like the heart of it was supposed to be like, is this Rusty's long lost love? And I don't feel like they do enough with that storyline for it to ever actually have any weight, or for us to ever want to see anything of it after this episode.
Right.
Yeah. Like, they kind of set it up throughout the episode.
And they talk about that a bit in the book, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
What's weird though is that I don't remember this episode being is this their mom or not episode. I never got that when I watched it the first time, or any other time subsequently, until I read the book and I was like, oh, okay. I just always assumed it was somebody that, that Rusty had the hots for. That was pretty much the whole thing.
I didn't know this was supposed to be a mom episode at all. This is new news to me.
Yeah, me
too.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a hinting at she might be the mom because she looks kind of like Dean. Like, there's a handful of things, but I don't think that they ever go into it very much. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like they really do much with it.
Yeah, they do nothing with it. Like, that's...
Yeah, I didn't get that at all.
I've seen this season more times than I could possibly count, and I've never picked up on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't until I read the book today that I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess I can kind of see it, but not really.
I'd say I'd have to go back through it, but I kind of don't want to.
You don't have to. I read the book before watching the episode, and I was like, I can kind of see bits and pieces, but my guess would be is that was the general conceit at the very beginning, but then they pulled away from it because they were like, what's there to do? Yeah,
and that's the right call. I mean, obviously, we still don't know who the boys' moms are, and it, as much as I am interested to know, like, I feel like if we had an answer at this point, it would have been too soon. And This doesn't feel like the right answer.
True.
Yeah.
Like, this is it's too easy. It's too legit of an answer. Like, if this was the Venture Brothers mystery, oh, it's some girl from Rusty's past and they're good friends. What?
Yeah.
Like, that's not even like the letdown Venture Brothers episode, like Venture Brothers answer. Like, where it's so underwhelming, it's funny. This one's just kind of an honest answer. Like, nah, I wouldn't like that one at all.
Agreed.
So good call on not doing that.
As usual.
Yeah. Turns out we agree with a lot of their decisions. One of the weird things in this episode, and I've never really... It's just never really stuck with me. Is there a big fan base from what you guys know of the two girls?
They kind of mention, okay, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but in the book, they kind of make a joke about it. But I do think that there's probably a lot of fan servicey stories about the two girls, but I think that's about as far as it goes. Okay.
I'm going to assume creepy fan servicey stories.
I don't know creepy or earnest, but I'm guessing Ernest goes creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they are kind of...
I want to see that movie.
Kind of. They are pretty creepy themselves. So I can kind of see that. But I think, I don't know, I'd be kind of interested to see their, murder mystery, solving type stuff. But I've already seen that. I feel like I've already seen, that's what this is making fun of. So it's like, I don't think I need to see any more of that.
Yeah, and the sex scene with them has always just made me uncomfortable. I don't want to throw around the R word, but they're essentially raping Dean.
Yeah.
He's not okay with this.
They're getting him drunk.
Yeah.
Something,
And climbing on top of him and whipping off their shirts, and it's like Dean is not ready for this, and he thinks you're Werediles. So this is not a willing participant. If they'd gotten Hank in there, Hank was into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the worst case definition of non-consensual.
Yeah, he's screaming. And I think it's one of those things where I don't want to be the crazy liberal in the room by any means, but at the same time, I've been known to be. But it's one of those things where it's I know consent in a cartoon like this isn't really the point, and that's not not having it isn't a slight against the show, because it's all for a joke, and it's clearly just, oh my god, these two girls really want to have sex with Dean, he thinks they're Werediles, and that's really funny, but they're also 16, and he's clearly not into it. And as funny as it is, it still just kind of makes me... Ugh. Unless that's the intended joke, which, I mean, they do have those sorts of jokes, and I enjoy them. But there's something about this one that's always just kind of bumped me. And I think that's why I'm not a huge fan of the episode in general. I think it's mostly because of the girls and Dean.
I agree. There's definitely something that feels... I know what they're going for, which is more or less to kind of be a foil to the way it seems to work. Hank definitely seems to be, of the two, I don't want to say the person who has, the most, attention from women, but I think that, if you were to guess, Dean wouldn't be, because you see all of his struggles with Orpheus's daughter, Triana.
Yeah, just general self-esteem.
Right. So I think that that's kind of the joke, though the question is do they do enough with it? And the answer, I think, is no. And then when you're compounding that with a scene that is questionable at best, and then at worst something much worse, then it kind of gets icky. We called them creepy earlier, and it's true. I think they are pretty creepy.
But they're not creepy like the Shining twins were creepy. They're creepy in a way of I don't want to be in a room with you because I feel like you're illegal. I don't know how else to say this, but I just feel like your entire personification is illegal. Go away.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I do think that there's also... I think that a lot of what the Venture Brothers does is that they kind of bring attention to the world that these people live in a realistic way. And I do think that these girls are very sheltered, obviously. That's not explaining anything, but I think that that's also what they're going for. I don't think they necessarily think that what they're doing is creepy, but I think that it's from an outside perspective with common sense, it's this is not a good idea.
Yeah, but it's a really heavy topic to try to tackle in 20 minutes, especially when they're not even the main characters, because still it's Rusty and Quym's episode by and large.
Yes.
Like
by and large.
Like these two are essentially the B story.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's not even getting into the weird fucking bodyguard, which I
I love the bodyguard though.
she's hysterical, but I don't.
I don't understand her motivation at all.
No, not at all.
No. Other than just being there as a counter to Brok. It's odd.
Yeah. Like it's like they're toying with the idea is like they're okay. Do either of you remember the SNL skit that was like a running skit with Pat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like that's basically what they're trying to do, but instead of is it a man or is it a woman, it's like, is she, heterosexual or is she homosexual? And it's not even, or I guess like it could be anything, but like they don't really do enough with it either. Like it feels like they touch on a lot of stuff in this episode that they wanted to touch on, but then don't want to do anything with. It's a very weird episode.
Yeah, it feels like they had enough to do like a 3-episode arc with these characters, and like, yeah, let's just try to fit it into one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like as we were starting to pull it apart, I'm realizing like how much stuff they jam-packed in here, and because of that, how much I didn't really enjoy it because of that.
Yeah. They have the whole thing with the forest, with the seeds.
Oh my god, I forgot about that whole thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then, deforestation, the Weradile, the, rape scenes, the difference. It's like,
Rusty's
cackling.
inability to get an erection, which is also another plot line in this episode.
Until he was hanging upside down for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird episode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what we like about it, like we all said in the beginning of this, that there are things that we enjoy about it beyond just the bodyguard, unless that is the one thing.
I do love the bodyguard.
I like Clyde.
Clyde? Which one's Clyde?
The orangutan?
The orangutan.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, can I tell a funny story very quickly about the orangutan bit?
Sure.
The first time I saw this, somehow I stepped out of the room when they were doing the orangutan bit the first time. So I missed the whole thing about them training him. And then when it comes in at the end, I was like, this is insanity. I don't understand. Where did this come from? It's got gloves and everything. And I was like, now that I know heading into it, after I've seen that scene, I've been like, oh, it was way funnier when it just came out of nowhere. And they just never address it except for the scene at the very end.
Oh, that's good. I kind of wish it was that way. That'd be way funnier.
Yeah. I still love the line from how Hank is just trying to train the orangutan. Just bang, Clyde. Bang, Clyde. It's like, that's not what we're training him for.
I also love that even the orangutan's like, I'm done with your shit, Hank. Just in the middle of trying to box. Bang, Clyde! He just turns around and starts wailing on him.
just goes orangutan shit right on his head.
Yeah, I liked that, and I loved I would have watched an entire episode of these two groups of the Dr. Quymn and her kids and Venture and his kids versus Werediles. Like, I'm sort of into that.
Totally.
Like, it feels kind of like Johnny Quest, Scooby-Doo sort of thing. And I'm like, that would have been a really fun episode, even with the reveal at the end that it's just the natives. Like, get these fuckers out of our area.
Yeah.
On board for all of that. And I think it would have been... maybe that's why they didn't do it. Like, that's so in their wheelhouse and stuff they're capable of doing. At the time of season 3, they could have just wanted to push farther and harder, is what I'm thinking.
I think so, and I also think that I think that this show has a tendency to lean away from things that they expect people to do, which I think is a strength of the show, but at times can be very difficult when it feels like, well, the obvious thing to do should be this, when it seems like it's the better option.
Yeah, I could see that. Because, like, this one, like, that is their strong suit, is, subverting expectations. Like, you think it's going to be red, and here comes blue. And, like, they're very, very good at that. And maybe this is just a botched experiment. Like this was their, like, we're going to keep going whatever we want to say is the right answer, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do it the whole episode through, and we're going to see what comes out. And maybe that's kind of what we got here.
Right. I think that they had like one too many wrinkles that they should have just cut down, because I do think that the most interesting thing is Dean's just kind of obliviousness to like the reality of the situation, but also kind of like wanting to be that boy adventurer. Like him trying to figure out this mystery is the best part.
Oh yeah.
Yes. 100%.
And
like,
sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna to bring up the fact that he keeps like walking in to these situations that are just like, it's clearly one thing, but he's taking it the other way. Like Brock's clearly not interested in the bodyguard, but when she hands like she just like comes sauntering in with like a 6-pack, and Dean's just like, the both of you's got jungle fever. The both of you's. It's great.
You too, Brok. You too.
Oh, it's so good.
Oy. I love Dean. Like, but the thing that I was going to bring up that this episode does, I know we've seen it here and there around the show, and it starts happening more and more. And it's real, and I like that it's real, is when they show cracks in Hank and Dean's relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Because as they get older, they would definitely start wanting different things, because they're very different people, and I like it when you start seeing that happen. Like, and it gets like, by the time we're at now in the show with season 7, it's like, holy God, you two have kicked the shit out of each other. Like, they are not friends anymore. And like, it's, I don't think this is the first time we've seen it, but it's one of those, like, it's one of the few times where you actually see Dean call Hank out on it. Like, you are not participating in what we used to do. Like, this used to be our thing, and you're not doing it anymore. And it's kind of, like, they do it in a really funny way. When we get to our favorite moments, it actually is my favorite moment, or the scene that makes me laugh the hardest in this entire episode. But
it's a good one.
It's great, but it's one of those things where it's actually pretty heartfelt too.
Yeah.
Like, when I went back and rewatched it this time, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is funny. Like, it really makes me laugh. But at the same time, I think the main reason why it makes me laugh and hits me that hard is because it's a genuine scene of emotion. Of like, I want my brother to do what we used to do together. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real moment.
Yeah, like, I remember when I was a kid, when my sister and I stopped doing things together, I remember, because I'm the younger one, going, what? Why? But we're friends.
Right.
And, like, that moment of realization of, like, yeah, you're siblings, though. Like, that's in there. And, like, it's not really explored that much yet in this show, but, like, these are, like, they're planting the seeds here of, like, this is coming.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why earlier when you said there's not a lot in these episodes from this week and next week that tie into later things, I think there is actually in both of them. They're not as obvious, and they're not as, I don't want to say important, but they're not as like plot important. They're more story and character important.
Right. And I do think that that's 100% true. Like, there is something really like forward thinking about most of season 3.
Yeah.
Even if some of it doesn't really like pan out or come to fruition, like there is a lot that's happening in those episodes that feel very like progressive as far as like moving the whole thing forward.
Yeah.
And I do think that this is where they start to explore the idea of them like starting to just become their own people, like not like the Venture Brothers as a group, but the, you know, Hank Venture and Dean Venture.
Yeah. Which, I mean, only leads to even better stuff story-wise and comedy-wise moving forward. Because, I mean, there's only so much you can do with the Venture Brothers as the Venture Brothers. Like, you have two very, very well-rounded, interesting characters, and it's only to the show's benefit that they let them go do their own things.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we've been talking quite a while on this one. Do we want to move into our most funny moments, laugh out loud, killer stuff, or did we miss something that you guys want to talk about?
I'm ready to move into the funny moments.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, actually, there's one small thing. 2 small things I just realized because I was looking down at my notes. One is first mention or first sighting of Blue Morpho.
Oh,
right?
fuck, I almost forgot that. Yes, that's true.
Wow.
So just a background character just there.
Yeah.
And the doorbell to the Venture compound is just like the theme song. It's like Dung, 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 dung. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I missed that one, but I definitely saw the Blue Morpho and even like went back and paused it. I'm like, that is the Blue Morpho. There you are. You crazy
Classic.
bastard, you.
And Kano, of course. But yes.
Oh yeah, of course. All right, so funniest moments in mine. I'm going back to it. Like, it's not even that funny of a moment, but it's always made me laugh more than anything in the episode. Not counting the credit tag, which I didn't want to take if that was somebody's. But just the Dean shouting at Hank. Hold on, I have it written down here. Oh, you used to be all Go Team Venture, but now you're all Go Team Boobies.
It's great.
I even like the dude. What's your hurry? What's your slowy?
Oh, Dean, he's trying so hard.
He's so mad, and he's got all these emotions, and he just
and
they're
no
so pent up.
vocabulary. Next.
You can go, Graham, if you want.
I mean, I already mentioned mine. Just the bang, Clyde. Bang, Clyde.
I love that.
It's so simple, but yet so effective.
All right, mine is, I think, my favorite. I've been waiting for this moment pretty much since we started making it. It's my favorite character development moment for Brok, which is when he's fighting the bodyguard, and he's just screaming into her face, "A good fight! I'm getting a good fight out of you!" And it's like, every time I see that, I'm just like, this is all Brok lives for. Like, his entire life is just looking for a good fight. It's the best. And his eyes are all fucking wild. It's so good.
He's in it.
He's really in it.
Yeah.
So, since we didn't mention it, we should mention the credit tag is one of the best lines ever. And it's, where were you? I was getting ready. I was getting my ass kicked by an orangutan. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it's so fucking funny.
I also have to mention that the hut that they're in and stuff is, like, furnished by IKEA. Like, it's like a very, like, nice...
I didn't know.
It's like the opposite. It's so good. There's, like, some weird good sight gags in this, but, like, they're few and far between, but they're really, really amazing.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's move into plugs. Pluggity plugs. Plug. Plugs.
Yeah.
After the Hype, the podcast that started it all, not all of podcasting, but all the shows you listen to now has even more shows. Could you believe it? We still have, of course, us. Then there's the main show After the Hype. And now we have Samwise, still the Advice Podcast. And then starting up soon, we have a Dogs Podcast hosted by Emily Blake. That will be a show reviewing movies from the dog's point of view. So if a movie has a dog in it, how did that movie unfold, told from the dog's point of view? Should be a lot of fun. And then we have our tabletop Demon Days coming out very soon, where I will be the MC in a way. I'm not the Dungeon Master, but I will be your narrator, if you will. And that one is coming up hopefully in February, but there's a lot of moving parts to that one. That one will be very big and story driven, so we're very excited about that. That's it for me, though. Graham, Nick, anything to plug?
Of course not.
Nada.
Cool. So with that, I will say thank you everyone so much for listening. Of course, feel free to reach out to us either through Facebook or our athpodcast@gmail.com. And bye.
Bye.
Bye.